everybody. I, I see people joining, so I will give you a few minutes. Hello, hello, and welcome. Yes, we are almost in time, so one more minute, and I will start the webinar because I want to respect everyone who's joined us on time. But thank you for joining wherever you're joining us from. If it's good morning, like here in US, good morning. If it's afternoon, good afternoon, or good evening if you're in other parts of the world. Wherever you are, I truly appreciate you joining us and allowing us to take 1 hour of your precious time to reintroduce you Penn State University and how this school could be a great option for your students if you're one of our partners, or for you if you are a student, or if you're a parent for your child who's exploring what Penn State can do for their future. Um, I appreciate your time. So before we start, I'd like to introduce myself so you know who's the lady speaking to us and why you should listen to me. As you see my name listed here, I am Blerina Polovina. I currently work as Associate Vice President for International Recruitment and U.S. Partners with Inuni Global. We are a partner of Penn State Law Program, so we are working very closely with the university on their behalf to recruit and promote their law program, the LL.M, and that is why I'm here speaking on their behalf. I've been with the industry for about 18, 19 years now. My journey has started all the way prior to that as a former international student. So I understand where you as a student or a partner who's working with students, what the students are looking for, what is the drive to come and study in US, what are the opportunities that you as a student will get while studying in US, and what are the doors that will open to you if you are willing to take those opportunities, put yourself out there, and those are, as far as I can tell, limitless. And I'm excited always to talk to students because that was my journey as an international student. Yes, it is scary. It is not easy to leave your home country, your family, and everybody you know, and to come to a new country. But the ones who decide to study abroad are the ones that get the chance to dream big. And I'm very excited to get a chance to talk to you about that. And I've been working with Uni Global for about 9 months now. But before that, I was working with US universities on different areas of international recruitment and compliance. So I'm very excited to join here and have this conversation with everybody. Before I start with the presentation, just a few housekeeping rules. If you have any questions, please choose the Q&A option. Ask the questions throughout the event. I will be able to, once I'm done with the presentation, to go back and see if I can answer some of the questions if time allows. If not, we will for sure come back to you with those answers by email. This is being recorded, so you will get a recording of this presentation in your emails as well. So just keep an eye on it. And if for some reason you want to say, hey, I think something was spoken about this at the webinar, you can go in onto that link and explore what you're seeking in that information that you're looking for that potentially you want to remember. But with that, I'm just going to dive in to introduce or reintroduce to you Penn State, and why we are doing this, just because we are getting very closely to the deadline of applications for fall 2026, but you still, and your students can still apply. And if anybody is still in the verge, should I not? This is our opportunity to come to you and let you know that I think it's a good idea. You can start applying for the Penn State Law Program if that is your goal, to study in US the law program and all the great things that you will be able to do with that program, not just in US, but anywhere in the world. So a little bit introduction about the university. Penn State Law, I think that everybody knows right now, Penn State University, I think it's a very well-known brand around the world. And now the law program, it's one of the oldest programs, and it's the most oldest ABA accredited law program in United States. And why is that key? I will speak a bit later on why an accreditation program is key for a student who wants to study abroad anywhere in US, but particularly in a law degree. You want to have the key accreditations of a particular program to be recognized, not just in the United States, but around the world. And accreditation only assures that the quality of the education you are receiving, it's of a level that it's not everybody can meet. So Penn State is one of those institutions, and the Penn State Law Program, it's one of those programs that you do not have to worry. You will have the peace of mind that you will have the quality of a program that's been operating for almost over 100 years. It's been recognized and very, very well known and respected, not just in the United States, but around the world. So just a bit, as I said, the institution is quite old. It's been established in 1834, and when an institution is as old as Penn State is, it's a reference of the credibility of the legacy that institution has in not in the United States but around the world, and it is so the Penn State Dickinson Law is one of the among the nation's earliest law schools, and its dedication is to prepare now you, the students, for the 21st legal challenges. And the world is changing fast, and those challenges are becoming more and more aware for us through media, social media, and the connections that we so much feel we can see through online different venues online. So now more and more it's keen for people who understand the law, who understand the integration of different law systems, who can be the bridge between one country to another, understanding the legal backing and legal laws and of operations in different countries are going to be the ones that really are going to be elevated at a higher level and credibility in your countries. So when you come for a law program, you're really not just studying to be a lawyer. You're starting to be this bridge connector, this person from one system to the next that will elevate your country. You elevate the government. Maybe you're working, elevate the corporations you potentially will be working on, and at the same time elevate you as a student in a higher level compared to your peers who probably just graduated from a law program in their home country. The Master of Law program, LLM, is only 1 year degree program. So when you think about it, it will not take much time out of your career, out of your planning, what the next step of your journey will be. You can actually finish this program in 1 year. And within that 1 year, you will get the benefit that the law program offers. They're being taught by a globally renowned faculty. You will have this faculty dedicated to you. And in US, there's two different type of faculty that students get a chance to work with. One of that group of faculty is what we call the full-time faculty, whose job is full-time to work at the Penn State University, to do the research, to collaborate with the students, to be there to support students throughout the way, and then do all that research and put it out there in the world. And then you have what we call in US the adjunct faculty. And usually what adjunct faculty means, it's professors that are coming and working part-time because they love the law so much they want to teach the next generation about it. But the beauty of this adjunct faculty is they are actually on the field doing what they're teaching you to do. So they're bringing that day one experience right there. They will tell you what the system is looking for, what the environment is looking for, what the law is changing, and you will get it firsthand from people who are there doing the business on a daily basis. And that is the beauty of educating in US, but particularly with the law program. Well, you will be taught by people who are actually doing law, that are there in the field, and then bring that information from the field, as well as with professors who have been with the Dickinson Law for a long time, who do the research, who have the background and the connections to help you become a better professional in that law degree. And there's two locations that we'll chat a bit later for the law degree that you can study at Penn State University. One is Carelessly, and the other one is at University Park. And I will talk a bit more later about scholarships and then the cost of education. So yes, there's scholarship for students to be able to join the university, but of course, like every scholarship, there's certain criteria that have to be met, and we will chat that as we go throughout the program. So, and again, as I explained a bit earlier, the faculty is one of the key areas that I think we are very proud at Penn State University to let our students know, because you're going to be taught from the people who know what the law is about, who has the connections in the law industry, and who can open the doors to so many opportunities that you as a student otherwise may not be aware of. And that is where the career preparation and outcome becomes such a key amplifier when we talk about Penn State law, because a lot of students do not understand how important it is when you have an institution that not just going to support and teach you the right way, but it will give you the tools for you to be able to expand once you graduate into the next level of your career. And that is what Penn State is really good about. And we're going to talk more about the student services, the student support, the connections that you will get, that and networking, that I think it's imperative for you as a student to be aware of as you decide where I'm going to study, where I'm spending this money, and what do I get out of it, which is a very fair question for you as a student to ask. You will get that preparation, you will get that connection at Penn State Law. And again, it will be up to you to show up for them, but those resources are going to be there to support you in the global opportunities. And I think that's something a lot of students do not understand, but especially with law. I always have said a U.S. education, it's a global degree. It's not an American degree, it's a global degree. Because a U.S. education degree, it's recognized from almost everywhere in the world, especially when it comes from an accreditation school, an accredited program, and when it has the name that Penn State Law has around the world. So you will have this global degree that will open doors to you for a lot of global opportunities, because having a master of law does not mean you're only going to be a lawyer. You can be so much more. And I think we're going to talk more about what some of those opportunities are as you expand as an individual, and what I'm going to do next with a law degree from US and particularly from the Penn State Law. And of course, you're going to have a supportive learning environment, because you can only be as good as you can be when you have an environment that it's there to support you and guide you and hold you accountable for your learning. But you will have it, because the success is built on opportunity, on you showing up and having an environment that is going to support you on that growth. And you will find that at Penn State Law. And so as I said, one of the areas that I think it's very imperative that you understand is the accreditation of the program. And Penn State Law, it's proudly been accredited by the American Bar Association for their education program that meets the standards. That means that if the program was not recognized by ABA, you would not be able, if you decided to do the bar exam and you want to be a lawyer, you will not have that chance, because you have to have this accreditation for the program to be recognized. On top of it, the university is part of the Association of American Law Schools, AALS, which of course we are a member of it. And again, it's a commitment to reflect the academic excellence and the professional development of our students. So when the program has the association of these two biggest association groups in the United States that recognizes the law program, then it will give you the peace of mind that you're going towards a program that has the standards, the quality assurance, and prepares you for the right program and opens the doors for you to a lot of other opportunities that maybe schools that do not have this association will be able to give to you. So you as a student for the Penn State Law have two options to study. In United States, the two campuses where this program has been taught, one of them is located at Carlisle, which is one of the areas, and the other one is the University Park. It will be up to you where you want to study. I do believe if you decide to study with one campus and potentially you want to change to a different campus in the middle of the program, you can have some conversations with the international services team there and your academic advisor to see if that move is possible. But the program itself, it's the same no matter where the campus is. So you can make an assessment what would be the best approach and the best campus for you to go to study. But again, I do believe you have a choice to start with one campus and to finish with another campus. But you always, once you start your studies, you always just keep an open conversation with your international services team and your academic advisor to make sure that any of those changes will not mess up your legal stay in U.S. and will not mess up the program planning that you have when you start the program, to ensure that you're studying and you're completing your studies within the year as designed by you and your academic advisor. So what are some of the program requirements that you want to learn more about and understand about the LL.M curriculum? You're like, okay, I'm going to come in. What am I going to be taught? What is the program going to be like? So if you are new to the U.S. education, first and foremost, in U.S., if you look, no matter in any university, our programs are set on credit hours. So usually You will see when you go in, you log in into, like, you go into the website, you search some information about a program, and you will always see, okay, it's 30 credits long, 36 credit long. That is how we operate in US. And usually one class is 3 credits. And so for an LLM degree, that means you as a student must earn a minimum of 24 credits. Um, you can add more to it, but you have to have that minimum requirement of 24 credits. And usually 24 credits, if you say 3 credits per class, it's about 8 courses. Yes, it's about 8 classes that you will be required to take. You can always add a specialization to it, and we can chat a bit more, but 24 credits are required to be completed, and that is why you were able to complete this program within 1 year, one academic year. And so, as an international student, in order to maintain your legal status, you will always hear once you come to US that you will always hear everybody say you have to be fully enrolled to maintain your status. So, what that means for a student in US for this program, that means as a student, you will need to take at least 12 credits per semester, and usually a semester will be like the fall 2026 semester will be from August till December, and then you have January to May. So during these 2 academic semesters, you are required to take at least 12 credits, which means 4 classes. Summer, it's not required, but if you want to take a few more classes to specialize, then you can have some conversations with the academic advisor, but you're only going to be required to just do 2 academic semesters. So let's say you're starting fall 2026. Semester 1 is fall 2026, semester 2 is spring 2027, and you're expected to graduate by spring 2027 and then enter the workforce with your degree or explore other venues that you want to do after you graduate. But you can extend your semester, your graduation, 1 extra semester for summer 2027. And usually, if you decide to extend it, it does not mean you're going to need to take more classes. What it means is you can go to your advisor and say, look, I'd like to add an experiential learning to my education. And what an experimental learning means, in other words, for what most students internationally will understand, it's an internship. You like, I want to have some hand-on experience on law, on how this is operated into law firms. And then the school can support you with on that semester 2027 for you to get that experimental learning. So you not just learned it in theory, but you've got some experience under your belt. And then after you graduate, you can potentially use that experience with everything else prior to you starting the studies to look for some opportunities in US. And I'll talk about what you can or cannot do in US once you graduate, but then opening the door to you for all the other opportunities in your home country and potentially the world. So, what are the admission requirements for you to apply? One of the great things about US, and particularly for Penn State Law, is that admission in United States is what we call a holistic approach of admission. And why it's holistic? Because if you look at all the requirements that we have listed here, and one would think it's a lot of requirements, it is because Penn State looks at more than just GPA and English. They want to see you as an individual. Because you as an individual, even let's say your GPA was not the strongest, well, you have a lot of experience, and maybe you will have a fantastic letter of recommendation, or maybe you will be able to explain in your writing sample why, or personal statement, why they should give you an opportunity. They want to see you as a student, and you as a student are more than a GPA. You are more than that, and that is the reason why it's called a holistic approach. So while it may look like it's a lot of requirements, there is a goal with all of it because they want to make sure you as a person are fit for this program. You're going to you're going to be successful in this program, and then you will be added to a fantastic group of alumni that have graduated from these programs in this all these years since they've operated. So what are the minimum requirements? Of course, you have to apply. We're looking for a personal statement, which means you have to write and explain why you want to be admitted, why you're applying to this law program, your background, and what are you going to do with the law program. Give them a peek of who you are. Be open. It is people underestimate the personal statement, and please do not use ChatGPT to write it. Yeah, you can refer, you can have some ideas on how you can write, but make sure it is your story. because that's what they want to see. They want to know who you are as a student. And of course, the English requirements are there. So we are listing the TOEFL, IELTS, and Duolingo. These are the key English requirements that the school accepts. If there's any other ones you're taking, let us know and we can explore and see if those other options will be acceptable or not. Then they're looking for a resume or a curriculum vitae, then your official transcripts, evidence of English requirement, letter of recommendation, and then if needed, we will, if the department comes back to us and says, hey, we'd like to have some extra documents, we will come back to you. But for now, if you're thinking on applying for Penn State and we do not have much time, but you still can apply, you apply, provide your English test scores, your transcripts, your personal statement, your letters of recommendation, and your resume, and then we will be able to tag that package and send it over to the team in Penn State to review and make an assessment. So do you still have time to apply for fall 2026? Yes, we do. I know we are May 4th. The deadline is May 31st, 2026. So you're about a month, still an opportunity for you to apply and explore if you can start fall 2026. And the classes for fall 2026 will start on August 18. So please, if you are thinking about the program and you want to apply, start the application right away so we can make sure we are making the decision has been done timely, your I-20 has been issued in a timely manner, so you can go out there and book your visa appointment and prepare for the visa appointment. Now the application process, this looks a bit too much, and don't be afraid. Part of it is on our end, just to make sure that we are collecting the right information. So what InUni does, we are as a partner, we work with you, or you as a partner, or you as a student, to provide all this documentation to us, and we have the full package ready to forward to the Penn State so they can just review and make a decision and do not have this back and forth into your documents are missing or not. So what is required to make it a complete? What is the process from the start to the end? So if you are an agent, you know very well that your application is submitted through the agent portal through our our GAS portal. Once the application is submitted, then your application and all the documents are reviewed by our team because we want to make sure everything is there. And then we do an internal evaluation. The GPA requirement for Penn State to be even considered for admission will be at least a 3.3 GPA on US standards. So we do all that conversion in the back end. We do not ask your students to do that for you. Usually other schools will require a West evaluation or EC evaluation. We will do that evaluation free of charge in-house, and we will make that assessment to assess if the GPA at least is there, and then if everything is there, we complete the documentation and we will submit what is called a COA letter sent to you to let you know that the application has been received and then all the next steps required. There will be for students what is called a suitability interview that is done by our team. And that is just an to understand, because as we said, because admission in US, it's a holistic approach. This is a way of us to understand and learn more about the student, to see if the student knows about the program, know what to do with it, because that will be the area that we can say, okay, the student knows about the program, they have a clear understanding what they want to do with that program once they graduate. So the suitability interview, it's really this holistic approach. Accept a GPA in English. Who are you as a student? And how do you see yourself with this Penn State Law program? And then we will put all of this information together, and then we will submit that file to Penn State to let them know academically the student is strong, English-wise the student is strong, and holistically approach the student is strong. So then the Penn State does not have to take a lot of time to review and make an admission decision. Once this file has been sent and Penn State will make a decision, you will get the offer, and then we will work with you and the school to have your I-20 issued. And once the I-20 issued, and you go for the interview, and we are crossing our fingers that you're getting your visa. Then once you get your visa, that is the only time your students will be asked to make a deposit. We do not ask students to make any deposits prior to the visa granted because it's not fair. There's no guarantee, and we don't want to go through back and forth. So once the visa is issued, the student will be required to pay the deposit, and then the student will be enrolled for the program and start their studies and successfully complete it and become a new alumni of the fantastic program. So that is some information about the cost of the attendance. As I said, this is a 1 year program. So cost-wise, it's not cheap. I know that. But I always talk to students, especially for schools of the level of Penn State. There's two areas you look at an education. You look at the cost or you look at the value. Now, of course, cost is important because if you do not have the funds to support your education, the value doesn't become much. But if you have the cost, I want students to change the perception when they see of education. Cost is the black and white information. This is the tuition. This is how much your books. This is the estimated cost of housing, of food, of transportation. The tuition itself, about over $60,000. It's not cheap, but we do offer up to 50% tuition discount for students who qualify for the program. So the students have a good chance to finish a program of a level of Penn State Law with about $30,000 instead of $60,000 on tuition. So it's important for students to understand it. But on the same time, I always tell students, what is the value of my education? And to me, the value of an education, it's not just simply the diploma you're getting. It is what the name and the prestige that the diploma holds in the world, the group of connections and the alumni network that you as a student will be part of that are some of the highest names that we are aware of with Penn State Law, the connections with faculty and the faculty who are operating on the ground, who have some of the strongest connections in the law and in corporate that you will be a part of. With the great opportunities that will come to the university and you will open doors to you, it's another value that you as a student have to open up, because the value is always extra people and connections that you will make and the doors that will open to you because of this program. And the value for this program, it's not 80,000. It's a lot more. And I want you to keep that in mind as you are exploring studying in US. But Penn State, I know looking at it black and white is not as cheap, but keep in mind, you get up to 50% tuition discount for great performance. You will be able, once you graduate within 1 year, to go into that workforce and work for at least a year under OPT as a student in US. But then this degree, this experience will up level you to a whole different level in your home country when you're looking for jobs that students with these degrees will look at. And it's not simply to be a lawyer. It is from working for governments. It's from working from corporations who are operating in a global level. It is working for companies that are that like NATO or other companies that have a global reach. So think about the doors that this will open for you. And to me, that is what the value of a program really is about. And trust me, it will be more than what the number shows in there. However, do not think, oh my God, it's so expensive, I'm not even going to apply. If you have all the qualifications to qualify for admission, please submit it. It will cost you nothing. And then we'll see how much scholarship will be awarded. And once that scholarship has been awarded, then you will have a better idea how much more you have to pay out of pocket for that 1 year. And here's where the career conversation starts. Because the truth of the matter is, the question you are asking or your students are asking, and it's a very fair question everyone should ask, is what do I get out of it? What is the return on investment? Well, the return on investment is based not just on your education and your diploma, which cost much, but on the support that you will get as a student to be able to do something once you graduate. So the student support, once you come and study in US, it's imperative for your success, especially if you're just coming and you've never traveled abroad. And now you're coming to this whole new country, a new place with different rules of operating. You want to be able to be in a place that is going to support you, that it's here to help you level up to the next level that you as an individual can be with the great areas of support. So what will you get when you come to Penn State? Well, you will have a one-on-one meeting when your first semester with your academic advisor to understand your holistic student experience. And then that just mean here it is your schedule. You will be sitting with somebody. You will be asked what is it that you're looking for. So we can design the program that will best meet your expectations of what you expect while you're studying, and what you expect after you study. You will have somebody to support you and guide you and have that conversation because every student is different and your journey may look different than somebody else's journey. So it's important for the school to be able to understand who you are, what you want to do, so they can help you with that development of the journey. You will be able to be part of a lot of series that are happening, a lot of events that are currently going to happen during your studies. Um, there will be a lot of workshops on resumes, on cover letters, on networking, on job resource resources. Because once you come in, don't wait until you graduate to do this. The goal is once you start in your studies, you'll be part of this planning journey right away, and you will have a whole team to support you. It's free of charge for you as a student to take advantage of all the resources. But do not wait until you graduate to say, okay, well, I have to work on my resume. You start working on your resume while you study. You start working on your cover letter while you're starting. You start networking while you study. That is the key. Start networking, show up. You start researching so you know what are those jobs that are looking for, what skills are they looking for, and then ask the question, do I have all the skills? And if I don't have all the skills, what do I do now that once I graduate, I will have the skills and I will have the diploma that will make me a top contender into this job research market. Um, and you will have a lot of interview prepping. And trust me, a lot of students don't underestimate the interview prepping. Working in US, it's different. So you need to understand what the employers in US are looking for, but at the same time, what employers with the who are looking for students who graduate with an LLM degree, what are they looking for? Um, the team here will guide you and help you and understand what those questions might be so you can then prepare accordingly. And when you show up for those interviews, you can stand tall and confident that you know what you're talking about because you've had the preparation and the skill set built while you're studying. We will have on campus, you will have employers come in that are looking for legal for students who are completing their legal studies. So you will get a chance again to talk to one-on-one with employers. Even if you're not able to start a job right away because those employers may be looking for a job right away, it will help you understand what those employers are looking for. Because once you know what the employers are looking for, you go backwards, you start planning. So once you're ready and you're going to graduate, you know what those employers are looking for and you give them what they're looking for. And that means that you will be strategic enough to know when you're looking for the job market that it's not just a diploma, that you've done the research and you've done the preparation and you know what they're looking for, and you are strategically going to give them what they're looking for so they can hire you instead of a lot of other people who are going to apply for those jobs. And here's what I told you about the value. You will join a network of over 750,000 alumni on Penn State. Don't underestimate that power because once you join that network, you will start to make connections around the world. And that's when the greatest ideas come. It comes when people get together and they explore and they come up with an opportunity. So that is 750,000 alumni around the world. That is one of the base values you can ever ask for if you're strategic enough to know how to approach, how to connect with them. And that's when the alumni office is there. Talk to them, see how you can make connections. Maybe in your home country, find the alumni who graduated, connect with them, see what you can build together. Um, don't underestimate the power of alumni because it will be one of your um, best assets that I think you will get out of studying at Penn State Law. And of course, the career development, it's a key piece, as I spoke earlier, for to build you as a student, but at the same time as a future professional in the field that you're studying and the law. So you will have, as I said, personalized career counseling. You will have training on legal writings, on advocacy. make sure you join, make sure you take advantage of all these resources because they are going to be free to you. As I said, you're going to have employers come in, so you will have career fairs. If you decide after you graduate that I actually want to do the bar exam, even though you're not going to be probably working in US much because after you graduate, you qualify to do 1 year optional practical training to work in the field of law in US. If you still want to have a bar exam so you can be able to practice law, you can, and the school can prepare you for it. Some students are willing to do the bar exam. They like to have that practicing law under their belt. So when they go in, once after a year is done, but let's say they're working for, they want to work for a corporation that has headquarters in US, but they have a lot of other centers around the world. Knowing the law, it can put you in a whole different level than other people. So if bar exam is a desire or a plan that you want to do as a student, know that you're going to be fully supported by Penn State to help you prepare for that process so you can be able to do the bar exam and hopefully pass it and be legal to be a lawyer in US for at least a year, but after that, still have that under your belt as you work for corporations that may have, as I said, headquarters are in US, but they are having offices around the world. And as I said earlier, as an international student, once you complete studies with an LL.M degree, you will qualify to work for 1 year under optional practical training to put in experience what you learned. Take advantage of it. It will be a lot more experience under your belt. So I would highly recommend if you're a student, once you graduate, you want to get that experience before you go back home, take advantage of the optional practical training. And what do I do after except studies? I always tell students it is imperative when you go to US. The environment in US, I think it's completely different in the American universities than a lot of universities around the world. And that is because, as I said, when the admission criteria to enter university is a holistic approach, that is the way the operations of education in US is. It's a holistic approach because we know you as a student are more than your studies. And we want to make sure that you are growing individually out of your studies, not just on your studies, but on other areas. So some of those opportunities, a lot of students do not give as much importance, but I think it will make a big difference if you are strategic enough, is being involved out of the classroom as much as in classroom. So how do you get involved? Well, one area you can get involved at university is by joining student organizations. And you can make the best connections through student organizations. You can level up your resume through your student organizations. And here in Penn State Dickinson Law, you have some of those organizations where you can connect with a peer, with a professional network, depending on your interest. But some student organizations that are focused to the law program are listed here, from the Criminal Law Society to the Environment Law Society, Health and Law, International Law, Sports and Entertainment Law, Venereal Law and Policy Society. So whatever your area of interest is, there's a good chance there's a group already there operating. So join those conversations, join the student organization. It will cost you nothing, but it's a resource a lot of students underestimate, and it will level up your resume, but it will open up to you to different perceptions of how other people are seeing law, and then you will make some of the strong connections with your students who are in the future going to be potentially your peers, and maybe you can build some great things together. So make a note and make sure you join these organizations because it will be priceless, and I think it will level you up in an area that otherwise you probably didn't think it would, especially when you come to US and you just want to focus on doing a good work at school, and you absolutely should do that. But don't forget, you have so many resources that will help you expand you as a person, and not just knowing law, but understanding you, being more open-minded, having deeper perceptions, having the critical thinking that a lot more employers are looking for. Those skills are built when you're part of the groups, and student organization is one of those ways you can build those skills. Uh, and again, so this is just part of the community you will take advantage of. There's the auditorium where you'll be able to have a courtroom and see potentially how a courtroom looks like and what life in a courtroom feels like, to the amazing library where you can find a lot of research and information that I am absolutely know you as a student or as a law professional are very much aware of, because understanding the law, understanding the background, and all the research that needs to be done is what will make you a strong professional in the law area. And here's some testimonials that of some of the students from abroad when they joined Penn State Law, what they were doing and what they were seeking. And so there's Alan, who's coming from Uganda, and he was a principal magistrate at the and judiciary, and he had held that position for 8 years. But he had other ideas, so he wanted to join the Penn State Law because his goal was to enhance his knowledge on international criminal law and procedure in international commercial arbitration. So think about it. It will open doors to you to explore that, and that is why Alan joined. And then we have Muhammad, who joined because he wanted to enhance his knowledge of commercial and corporate law with an emphasis in AI, IT, and international finance. Um, and again, none of them are because I want to just do a law, I want to be a lawyer in US. It's a bigger vision. And that's what we're seeing a lot of our international students. Reason is when they join the law program. And then we have Alma from Ghana, who her goal was to enhance her knowledge of international law, especially in US legal system for technology and cybersecurity law. And I think understanding that and bringing that knowledge back home will make you in a whole different level, as I said, compared to a lot of your other people in your country maybe will not have the experience and the academics that you will have and bring on the table. So think of it as a way to level up your positioning in a market that right now it's going to be more demanding, and you will have the knowledge, the skill set, and the connections to put yourself in the top on a very competitive world right now. But this is something about Penn State. I hope you found it helpful. I see a few questions coming in, so give me a second and I'm going to open my Q&A just to see what are the questions that we are getting. So one question that we got is, what makes LL.M at Dickinson Law a better option compared to other law schools? A very fair question. I mean, as I said, and I know there's some great law schools in US that potentially are great options for students. As I said, with Penn State Law, it's been operating since 1800. So the knowledge and the respect that this law program will give to you is of a whole different level. But with a scholarship of 50% that you are getting, up to 50% you will get with Penn State Law. Not a lot of law schools in US will give you the discount. So if you're thinking of a law that program, the value it will offer to you for the cost of less than of 50% less, you will not get it in a lot of other law schools at the moment. We've done some research, so that it will be a good option for the money you're spending in US. Joining a degree that is it's going to put you in a level, as I said, that it's recognized, that it's respected, it's been operating since 1800. And think about the positioning of Penn State. It's very close to New York City and very close to Washington, D.C. So you will be able to connect with two of the most vibrant cities in U.S., where you can get that experiential learning, where you can get the work experience, where you can go in and see what's happening in those areas in the law. And I think cost-wise, position-wise, and the respect-wise, I think it's still one of the best options for you to explore as a student if you're looking for the law program in US. Another question is there any flexibility in the curriculum for international students? So most of the program itself has some set courses, but then you have some experience, depending on what you want to learn, then yes, you will have some flexibility on other courses, depending if there's an area that you want to focus more other than others. Like if you go back into some of the alumni we chatted, one of them wanted to do the international and criminal law. The other one wanted to know more about corporate and arbitration. Another one wanted to know more about cybersecurity and IT. which means there's a flexibility in there depending on what it is, the goal that you want to do with this degree. And that is where the conversation one-on-one will happen when you come in as a student on your first semester. You will ask that question: what is it you want to explore? What is it and you want to grow strong to be strong with? And once you have the answer, then the program will be built to meet the goal that you have. So yeah, there will be some flexibility within that program. There will be a set courses for everyone to take, but then depending on what area you want to emphasize, you potentially will have some courses that may be different than your peer because your end goal may be different than your other peers standing next to you. All right, let me just clear it. So I have the other question. Are international students eligible for OPT at Dixon Law? So yes, as I mentioned earlier, every international student now studying in US, once they graduate, they are eligible to apply for optional practical training. And for the ones, I'm sure you probably know, but for the ones who do not know what optional practical training is, it is the opportunity given to you as an international student to get some experience onto what you learn. So when you're done with the education in US, you don't just have the academic experience, you will have a professional experience, and that will build your momentum to do great things with your career. And yes, you will get a chance to start to work for a year in US once you graduate under the optional practical training. And I saw, does the program help with the US bar exam? Yes, the program will help you with the US bar exam. So if your goal is to do the US bar exam, make sure when you meet with your academic advisor during your first semester, you said that up front so they are aware and that they can build your program with that preparation for the bar exam and the guidance, so you are ready to do so when time comes and you're graduating. So it's another question that I see here. It's what kind of support and services international students get. And I did speak about it before, but just rep to um, to repeat myself, because sometimes repetition is important for people to remember. You will get a lot of services as an international student when you come to Penn State, and not just for the law degree, but first of all, as a student, to adjust to a new culture, to adjust to a new way of doing things, you will get that service there. That's why you will have a student support team that it will be there to guide you with adjusting to life on US. And then academically, if you're having some issues, you will have that support as well. But then you will have the biggest support that I think students do not pay attention much, is preparing you for the next level of your career. You will have this career services team that is there to support you all the way. Make sure you take advantage of it. So yes, do you get a support? Absolutely. You will be supported with adjustment on campus. You will be supported with academic difficulties if you're facing any. You will be supported with guiding and preparing you to be fully prepared for the job market, not just academically, but professionally. And you will have all the support there. So make sure you take advantage of it, because they are free and they're for you, because your success is Penn State success. And um, that is why they are there, because they want to make sure you are supported fully so you can give it your best and go out there and make the change in the world that they know and we know you're going to do. Are there any networking opportunities with alumni and legal professionals? Absolutely, there are. Now, I do not have firsthand, but they are, because they all will depending on the semester basis. But that is one of the key areas that a lot of students don't understand how important it is, and how many of those opportunities will be available for you as a student. So networking opportunities, they happen all the time on campus, depending on speakers that may come to speak, on events that are happening on campus. As I said, you will have employers come in to talk to you. But yes, there will be sometimes you will have alumni joining in to share their experience. Those networking opportunities are there all the time on a semester basis. Usually universities and Penn State will have a list of events that are happening on campus. I always tell students, keep an eye on it. Make sure you join whatever you think you are able or your time allows to join to make those connections. And then, of course, there is a strong alumni office. And so there's alumni chapters, and those events will be part of you once you graduate. You will be invited to more of those networking events that will keep going on after you graduate. That will, as I said, those alumni of 750,000 and growing will be one of the best networking opportunities for you as an alumni of Penn State Law to be part of, because when you make those connections, that's when some of the best collaborations happen. So yeah, you will for sure be part of those conversations. And the last question that I see here is for international students, should they settle the tuition fee first before applying for the US visa? Given that the tuition is quite expensive, how much is the minimum amount they should deposit to process their visa? So to process their visas, you don't deposit anything. By law, you are required as an international student to show that you have the financial means to pay to cover the cost of the education. So if you go back at the tuition where we said it will be over $80,000 that you have to show, but then, depending on what scholarship you got awarded, you deduct the scholarship out of it. The remainder has to be there for you to apply for the visa. It does not mean you pay that amount right away. It just means you have to show to the US Embassy, I have the means to cover my first year of study in US. And for this program, it's only 1 year of study. So you got to show at least $80,000 minus the scholarship you will be awarded to even be able to get the I-20, which is the document you will need to apply for your student visa. But as I said, you're not going to be required to pay that upfront. You will be required to pay a deposit required after the visa is issued. Then after that, usually the schools will have either you pay per semester, or there may be an option where you can do a payment plan and break that semester-based payment either in two or three parts throughout the semester. So while you will have to show a lot of money upfront for the I-20 to be issued, it is simply a way to tell the school and the government, US government, that I have the funds to support to cover my education and the cost of living for the first year in US. You're not going to have required to bring all that money up front. Then you will work with the school on how that payment plan will look like, depending on your circumstances. And let's see if we have any more questions. I have a question about the accommodations. I do believe there's accommodations on campus. Let me, whoever, and friend, I know you asked that question. I will double check to make sure our international students guaranteed a place there. I am not 100% on that answer, so I don't want to give you the wrong answer. But let me just double check with the Penn State. Can students live on campus? Absolutely. Let me just check more on that piece before I give you a guaranteed answer, because I'd rather find the right answer than just give you an answer for the sake of an answer. Um, but thank you for that question, friend. Let me see, there's more questions. I don't. All right, so I don't think there's any more question. We have about 7 minutes left. I'm trying to, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Please let me know if there's any more questions in the last few minutes that we have. Thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate it. I hope you found this information a bit helpful. I will find more answer about the living on campus piece. As I said, I'd rather give you the right answer than just an answer. But other than that, thank you so much for joining. I hope this information gets you excited. Penn State is a great university to join. And if you're looking for a law degree, it would be one of the best choices you can ever do for yourself and for your future. If you have any more questions, please let us know. We will be more than happy to guide you through the process. We still got time for fall 2026, so I do still hope to see your application sometime in the next few weeks. But other than that, thank you for joining. If you're a partner of us and working with our students, thank you always for supporting us. It's a pleasure to work with you. If you're a student just trying to learn more about your journey in US, kudos to you. Not everybody has the desire and the willingness to go for things like studying abroad, and you do. And that is a big, big thing that I think you'll probably give your kudos in the bag, because not everybody has the courage to do what you're doing. So keep dreaming, keep going, keep doing what you want to do. The world is here and it's waiting for you to make the change that you are meant to do. Other than that, thank you again for your time. I wish you a pleasant day or evening, and God bless. Bye bye.